This bed for these onions was harder than I thought. Alrighty guys, so here are the onion sets.
Sometimes the tough things in life come to teach us a lesson, and sometimes they come to redirect us back to our happy place. Whichever one it is, we have to take the good with the bad, learn to be appreciative, and learn true happiness. Welcome to Mocha Homestead.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Mocha Homestead. Today we are going to be planting onions finally out in the garden. It has been a crazy couple of weeks with the weather, and I got my onions back when I returned from Las Vegas, but we were expecting to have a freeze, and we actually had 3 freezes since then. So since it looks like we're in the clear for the next several days, actually for the next at least week or 2, I am going to go ahead and plant my onions out. But I do have some greenhouse frames. I'm not going to put the plastic on them. I am actually going to put some frost cloth over them to protect my onions because they need to get out before they die. So follow along as we plant these onions out in the garden. And before we get started, I am actually going to show you guys what my garden is looking like after all of the frost. So here is my first bed all the way toward the fence line when you enter the garden. Seems to be doing pretty okay. I do need to come out here and pull these old zinnia vines and get that cardboard out of the garden. It looks like the soil has dropped a little bit, so I will have to fill that and place the irrigation lines back inside. For this bed, this was where I had my kale and my collards, and as you can see, they are still trying to kick along. I did do some harvesting on those, so the leaves that have come back are pretty small and young. So here's that. I'm trying to figure out, let's see if I can zoom in. I am trying to figure out what this actually is. I know it's in the mint family based on its leaves. I'm going to take a picture of it with my phone to see what it is because I have this popping up everywhere, as well as these. So I want to figure out what they are, and if they're medicinal, I want to harvest them and not pull them, just to be pulling them. So moving over to this bed, we have some collards that appear to be doing pretty okay. After I had to pull so many of the leaves, if you see down in the middle, there are some smaller, let's see if I can get you some, there we go. There are some smaller ones down in the middle that are starting to grow back. So we'll see how this one does. This bed over here did not grow anything in the winter. I just let it do what it wanted to do because I was tired after the end of the last season. So I have not yet cleaned up the garden, if you can tell. But in the next upcoming weeks, we will be doing a garden cleanup. This bed right here seems to be growing or trying to grow grass, I believe is what this is, up through my bed, and I actually will be cleaning this out to put some soil and onions in this bed. I usually put garlic in this bed, but this year I did not get my garlic out in enough time, so I will not be growing garlic this year. If we turn over to this large bed, I still have some carrots in here that I need to harvest. I have some Swiss chard that appears to be trying to recover. But most of this bed is pretty much ready for me to get it ready for the season. I will be adding maybe about 6 inches or so of soil in this bed to bring it back up to where it needs to be. But we will see if I haven't decided yet if I'm going to just get bagged soil. It's a lot easier for me to get bagged soil since I do have an SUV, or if I'm going to have some soil delivered in bulk and try to do that, because I also have this bed over here that will also need a little bit more soil in it, and I am kind of just letting this bed do whatever it wants to do at this point until I clean it out for the spring. So this is the frame that I was talking about. Looks like it's trying to rust a little bit, but that doesn't matter to me. This is the frame that I was talking about that I plan on putting over my onions and just covering it with the frost cloth. I actually have two of those. I have one there, and then I have another one, if you can see it there, that was covering some of my frost tender plants when we had some snow. So now that I've told you all about the garden, let's go ahead and get these onions planted. So a lot of this is roots and things from old plants that were in here last season. Some of it is straw, and some of it is some grass that tried to grow up through the garden bed. And I'm just trying to break it all up so that I will have some soil to plant my onions in. Alright y'all, so these onions, preparing this bed for these onions was harder than I thought. So, word to the wise, do not let the weeds overtake your garden, because it will be harder for you in the upcoming season. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this bed planted. I was going to do the second bed, but I don't know that I'll have enough soil to fill that bed to put these onions in. So we're going to see how many onions we can get in this bed, and then we'll decide from there. Alrighty guys, so here are the onion sets or starts that we got. These have been in this tray for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, that we got from, I can't think of the name of the farm. It's one of the ones that everybody gets their onions from. I will put it down at the bottom of the screen, but they looked really well when I got them. The instructions said to put them out and let them dry. They will be okay for a couple of weeks, so that's what I've done, and I am going to plant them today. So I think what we should do first is put the irrigation lines back in, and then we can plant around those. So I am done planting that bed, and I still have quite a few onions left. Let me show you what I have left. I still have quite a few left to plant, and I'm trying to decide if I am going to plant these in another bed or if I am going to gift them to a friend who has a small garden on her patio. And I think I am going to gift these. Let me show you how many I have planted. If you can see, I have planted several onions. Let me count them and I'll let you know what the total is. So I ordered, I believe it said that you get 2 or 3 dozen when you order from Dixondale Farms. I'll put it down here below what you get, but I planted 50, and I think I have probably about another 25 more smaller ones in this container, so you get a lot for the price. I will say that, and they were very healthy when I got them. So I have gotten those planted. I believe I am going to gift the rest of them to a friend, and then we will go from there. So I am going to look at the weather and see if we're going to have a frost here soon, and if I need to cover these onions, I will. But I will come back on and let you guys know if I ended up covering them or not. So let me just check the weather real quick. Alrighty, so I will not have to cover them because we will not have a frost in the next week. But what I am going to do now is water them in. And I'm going to water them deeply. The soil is still damp from the snow and rain that we had this week, but I am still going to water these in pretty well. Alrighty, that's all we have today for this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to share this video with anyone who you think might like our content. And as always, see you next time. Bye.